My name is Francis Kelly. I work in the partner organization for ESRI. I've been with the team for about 3 years, and I actually come to you as a former partner of ESRI, and then I moved in to ESRI and worked on the program. And then after a couple of years working on the program, made a move over to state and local government. So at this point, I'm actually leading the partner initiatives for our state and local government business. When I think about GIS and promoting partners, one of the key reasons I joined the organization was because I think GIS has gone from this back office mapping type technology to a first-class IT citizen. And we saw that this fall as we looked at the Forrester Wave report and saw that ESRI is a leader in this concept of mapping and location. So I think really that GIS has come a long way from this back office, create a map, and this static kind of information product to really mapping and location is now the way that organizations wish to see their information. So we've really taken this journey from what used to be the fun thing to say about GIS folks is geeks and sandals. Really, this is geographic information solutions being delivered with really robust mapping and location analytics. And that's really where I see GIS today. Really at ESRI, there's never been a better time to be a partner or be a part of our partner organization as an employee, because really this concept of needing more mapping and location, we need our partners to really fulfill the vision of our customers. In our segment alone, ESRI has such a large footprint in state and local government markets that we really need the focus, the communication, and the support of our partners to really see a customer's vision through to that end state. A lot of the times we find ourselves starting at public works and then expanding from there. So I think that's really where partners help the most, is that concept of where else could we be using mapping and location technology to afford that enterprise more value for their investment? Because really a lot of these organizations, a lot of these counties and cities really invest in what we call an enterprise agreement. So they have access to a lot of our technology for a term of 3 years. And really our partners can help us land and expand that footprint and really see our customers through that vision, from solving the problem that they set out to maybe in public works, all the way to exposing and sharing information with the public, with their constituents who are interested in what's going on in their community. So describe a situation where a customer has a pain point and a partner can help that out. When I look at our partners today, especially those really well-formed partners, they look to the customer and say, let me understand the situation you're in, the problems that situation has today, and really learning a little bit more of the implications of those problems. What's happening due to that problem? And then and only then, when we understand both the problem and the implication of that problem, what is that causing them in terms of pain? Is there loss of money? Is there loss of budget? Is there loss of folks who are in the community who are making a different decision to move out because of bad service? So we want to look at that implication and then give a need payoff, because really the problems that have an implication are the ones that folks want to solve first, and then you'll be in that circle of trust to help them achieve their vision beyond. When partners and customers work together on understanding a situation, a problem, and an implication of that problem, you kind of remove yourself from that vendor perspective. I think a lot of our partners really want to solve problems. We tend to get ourselves locked into this concept of, hey, there's a situation, there's a problem, let's solve that problem. And without really understanding and appreciating the real implication of that problem, the real loss of business, loss of time, loss of market share, loss of advance, and even in some cases, loss of bonus or something like that. We really need to understand that, because that's what takes us from that vendor relationship into a partner relationship, because we really want to understand and appreciate the landscape that individual is dealing with. Because as we know, you can go into an organization and what they see as the problem may not have a budget associated with it because the problem's not large enough. There's not a big enough implication. When we look at, say, water and wastewater, is there something with the EPA where there's real regulatory issues that are coming down that really are going to come to you in terms of fines? Or is there really, we want to have a better story and get our community more engaged with what we're doing in the initiatives that they're looking to follow in our community? When I look at customers and partners who don't have a consultative approach, what my fear is for that partner or that customer is we become a one-trick pony. We actually go in and solve one problem and then we walk away. And really we don't expose and understand what their vision is for mapping and location. Because as you look at where we are today, I looked at the 10.7 and 10.8 releases of ArcGIS as the platform. When we expose these user types, this gives us an opportunity to now look around our organization and say, who else needs to be part of mapping and location analytics and get those answers to them? I think when you go in and say, what's your situation, what's your problem, you solve that problem, there's some success and some victory there, but I don't see it as long-standing. And I think those partners who really engage deeply and understand, hey, this is your vision and when it comes to mapping and location. Now, what are the things that we need to do, the steps we need to do to achieve that vision over time? And I think a lot of that came out with, when we first came out with Arcgis Hub, a lot of folks went really fast into this concept of open data and didn't realize that really Hub is a modern public access system and open data is part of that. And I think we saw some fear, uncertainty, and doubt in exposing all of that. And now as we've looked back to our customers, we've said, you know, the Hub, the Arcgis Hub allows your community to be more deeply engaged. So there isn't that fear, uncertainty, and doubt over open data. It's opening the right data at the right time for the right constituents to be sticky with your community. And I think the reason why I bring that up about Hub is because largely that's where a partner and a customer can come together and understand that vision, understand the situation, the challenges that are in that situation, the implication of those problems and those challenges, and where can we get a need payoff. And really, in so many words, start to whiteboard out what the vision looks like. If you have a vision of having mapping and location throughout your organization, that's an end state. How do we get there, and what are the stages and the steps that we need to take? And a lot of the times, I think, if we don't look at this agile thinking of let's plan, let's do, let's check, and let's adjust if we need to, right? PCDA, right? Plan, do, check, adjust. Because as a partner, we want to make sure that if the needs change, if the landscape have changed, we really want to know and appreciate those things. Because as I said, we want to whiteboard out the plan for that vision, because life happens, situations change, and look at what we're dealing with today. Last year, at the end of the year, we were very, very focused on and developing solutions around the opioid epidemic. And then COVID happened. And then now that COVID has taken place, we still have kind of an imbalance, right? We went to one side to COVID and we still have this opioid epidemic that's still out there. And one might say it could be even more acute given the time people are spending at home. So as I mentioned, those priorities for an organization, whiteboarding those out, plan, do, check, adjust, because it's not that that issue of opioid isn't an issue anymore. It's just there's a new priority. And I think that's where partners, as they engage with our customers to understand what their future vision looks like and the steps to get there, we always want to keep in mind that landscapes change, priorities change, and let's be there for those priorities as they change and be able to support those. I think a lot of the times as professionals in what we do is sell and market our strengths and our capabilities, is we really get happy when we get attention. When somebody says, hey, I've got a problem, can you solve it? We really want to solve that problem. And I think it takes a lot for us as human beings to slow down and actually almost have like empathy interviews, right? A lot of times we talk about those 5 whys. Well, why are we doing this? A lot of times I ask people, why change? Why now? Why ESRI? And I actually ask a lot of our partners who are prospective partners, I ask them, why do you want to change? Why do you want to change now? And why would you choose ESRI? So I think the reason why this model and this method goes so well is because those more mature and formed partners that I've seen at ESRI look to not what they can solve today, but what are the business problems that go to end in an organization, and what it is that mapping and location can do to afford them a better future. And I think the the sooner we slow down and understand the goals of our customer and the role that we're going to play in supporting them. Even in this interview, you heard me slow down because this is really important to me, that we have a cadence and we understand the landscape, the problems, the implication of those problems, and then start mapping out what a payoff might be specific to those problems and those implications, and then start saying, okay, if we're going to build a foundation to solve these problems, what other problems in the organization do we need to solve? And how can we help you with that? I go back to Arcgis Hub because in our sector, in the state and local government sector, Arcgis Hub is the community engagement system. And when Hub was first released, we went really fast and forward about this concept of open data. And that was somewhat frightening for a lot of our customers to provide that level of granularity to their constituents. And as we grew and we learned and we saw some examples of Hub, it now supports, as always, that open data paradigm, but really we've looked at it as a modern public access system. So folks like my mom, who wants to be engaged with her community in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, to understand what things are happening around COVID, but also what things are happening around opioid, but also what is happening in the park. So when her grandkids come to visit her, where can they go? All the way to a newcomer into the city. My sister is moving up there now. She wants to understand the schools. She wants to understand the opportunities. So Hub has really become that modern public access system for government. And the reason why I bring that up as an example, as a more broad example, is that even ESRI is a 50-year-old company who started this whole concept of GIS and in software. We even learned about Hub, and we had to go back and say, okay, open data is still at the core, but really let's solve those challenges of connecting people with their community in a way that is easy, is personal, and keeps them really their finger on the pulse of what is important to them and their community. And if you think about where you live, do you live there for one reason or a lot of little reasons? It's those little reasons that I think Hub actually gets that connectivity and gets you kind of sticky in your community as to the initiatives, the appetite that your community has, and that exchange of energy. So that's, instead of looking at one simple customer, I like to look at that broader scope of where we are today and what we've learned around Arcgis Hub. What controversial views do I have around GIS and partners? I'm just going to go out there and say it, that I believe that mapping and location is a first-class IT citizen. And that's one of the reasons why I joined ESRI. ESRI was an organization that I targeted many years ago and came back to join this partner organization. The reason why, I don't know if that's controversial as much as it is GIS, the system of record that we've invested in and we've created that foundation for, needs to be harnessed, needs to be leveraged throughout an organization. I had a colleague at a conference just recently say, I challenge you to be nowhere. And when we think about ESRI and we think about the science of where and the knowledge of next, as we say, I challenge you to be nowhere. There's always a place and space to what we're doing. So I truly believe that geographic information systems and the solutions that they provide are an IT first-class citizen. And the reason why that's important to me for our partners is because I really want them to take this concept of the geographer being a back office map maker to being that person who is actually developing and delivering location analytics. And that's super important to me. And where the controversy might be is that is really exposing and informing and influencing that GIS person to say, you're not a map maker, you're actually a data analyst, a data scientist, and really you're providing that answer in the form that everybody can really understand, and that's a map. Every day, everywhere, people are using mapping and location technology to make little decisions and big decisions. And that's where I really think I need the help of all of our partners, for all of us to look ourselves in the mirror and say, I am not a geographer. I'm a geographer who's creating value for my organization by providing mapping and location analytics, because that deep analysis that ESRI provides to that user who's providing that outcome, that answer to their constituents, is absolutely where I see the future going. And as you saw with the Forrester Wave report, not only is ESRI the leader in this space, but we continue to grow and develop our community of customers to have them take that stand that GIS is no longer geeks and sandals. I'm a geographer who provides answers in complex. I can provide easy answers to complex problems in a form that is very easily consumable in a map. And I like to talk about this a lot because I really feel like the time has come for the GIS professional to stand up, be counted, and realize that their job is not to provide a static map. Their job is to provide an operational analysis with a backdrop that is mapping and location. That's a big deal to me. What's analogous to really creating this dynamic where GIS is not this back office map making concept is really, when I have 3 sons, and when they got to around 3 or 4 years old and they're talking, they were so incredibly curious and they really wanted to know everything. And so they'd ask the question why a lot. So the analogy I'd use is really be as curious as that 4-year-old. Don't just simply answer the question and provide a static output. Ensure your customer, your constituent, you understand not only the question, but ask why that question is coming up, why they need it now, and what else they could be providing, what else I could be providing as a geospatial analyst to provide a great answer. Because remember, if we just provide a static output, that's just a snapshot in time. Everything changes after that. So really it's that understanding of a problem, snapshotting that out, but also understanding who else is going to see that and making sure that we're not only solving the problem today, but ensuring we understand what other problems could be solved. And I think our technology has grown now to a place in a space where there isn't any person within an organization or outside an organization who couldn't have the appreciation of a very dynamic answer to their problem using mapping and location. So if you're just getting started, or even curious about GIS, first I want to say welcome. You're surrounded thousands of other individuals who have established their career and continue to grow and develop in our community. At ESRI, we really value our customers. And as you come into our community, and as you look at these concept of GIS and these thoughts of mapping and location and deep location analytics, I only want to congratulate you first because you've chosen ESRI, and ESRI has been around for 51 years. We got started in GIS. This is where we focus. This is where we live. We provide software to help our customers find answers using mapping and location. As you come into our community, be curious, ask questions, get training. We have so much in the way of training and enablement at ESRI that is really no charge to our customers who have a license of our software. It's very easy to get started. ESRI offers a $100 personal use license of our technology. For $100, you could be working with the greatest mapping and location, all the different data that we have at your fingertips. So for those of you who are coming to our community or thinking about becoming a geographer, I first want to say welcome. You've made a good choice because mapping and location matters. The second thing I want to suggest to you is always be curious, get training, and get deeper into our community. For those organizations contemplating partnering with ESRI, as a former partner of the organization, I can only ask you to come to us and to focus. We have a lot of different business units and a lot of different ways you can work with ESRI. The first thing you're going to want to do is is focus. Where do you want to work with us? Is it in our national government sector? Is it in our state and local sector, commercial, utilities, water? Think about where your skill set is today and where you might want to develop that. So focus comes first. And then if you're focused, you want to organize around that focus. You want to become a thought leader. So you want to share your successes. You want to blog about what's going on. You want to maybe take and digest some of ESRI's information and kind of reproduce that to show your understanding of our messaging. So focus and then organize, and then of course communicate. A lot of the times with our global business development folks, you want to understand the goals that we have for an account and the roles each of us are going to play in the success for that customer. As I mentioned earlier, ESRI sells software. Our partners really enjoy a great and robust business supporting our customers, be that content, solutions, or services. We have over 2,600 partners who are helping our customers every day. And ESRI, because we sell software and we have a services organization that helps our customers, but really our partners get to share that heartbeat with our customer. And that's why understanding the goals for an account and the roles that we're both playing is really important. So I really look to our partners who are in the program today, or even contemplating being part of our program, to continue to focus, organize, and communicate with ESRI, with our global business development, and with the community at large. And never forget that some great connections can be made within the partner community. So an organization can partner with a larger organization because they have a competency or a capability that's really going to help this other partner. We value, at ESRI, our partnerships. We value our customers, and we value their success through our partners. So anyone getting into GIS or established in GIS, there's never really been a better time to be a partner of ESRI, because really we need you now more than ever to land and expand and really showcase the value and the long-lasting benefits that come from mapping and location.